The Galactic Council chamber was filled with light, sound, and quiet laughter. Hundreds of alien leaders sat in their high seats, watching a large hologram of a small blue planet. Earth, one of them said with amusement. A backward world from the edge of the galaxy. The room echoed with soft laughter. Humanity was the topic of the meeting, but no one took it seriously. Years ago, humans had tried to join the galactic stage. They had shown a warship prototype. It was slow, weak, and unfinished. The galaxy had laughed at it. The prototype failed during a public test. Its engines shut down, its weapons misfired. The humans looked embarrassed. The galaxy looked entertained. Since that day, humans were labeled as harmless. A young species with big dreams and no real power. Most empires stopped watching Earth after that. Humans are good at stories, one council member said. But not at war. More laughter followed. The council was about to move on to more important matters. Border wars, trade routes, real threats. That was when the sensors changed. A low warning sound echoed through the chamber. The laughter slowly died. An officer stepped forward, confused. There is something in deep space, he said. Near human territory. The council barely reacted at first. Many thought it was a sensor error. Human space was not worth attention. Show us, a council leader said with boredom. The hologram shifted. Stars stretched and bent on the display. Space itself looked wrong. The room grew quiet. A dark shape began to appear. At first, it was unclear, like a shadow. Then slowly, it became solid. Something massive was uncloaking. Gasps filled the chamber. The object was enormous. Larger than any known battleship. Its surface was smooth and black. No visible weapons, no glowing lights. This is not possible, someone whispered. The sensors struggled. Data flickered, then failed. The object was blocking scans without firing a single shot. Silence replaced laughter. This cannot be human, a council member said. They do not have this technology. The ship continued to uncloak. Layer by layer. Like it had been hiding for years. A symbol appeared on its hull. Simple, clear, and human. The room felt suddenly very small. No weapons fired. No threats were sent. The ship simply stayed there, waiting. Fear crept into the council's thoughts. If this ship belonged to humans, then the galaxy had made a terrible mistake. Records were pulled from archives. Old reports, old warnings. Messages from Earth that were once ignored. One line stood out. We are not ready yet, the humans had said years ago. The council finally understood the meaning of those words. This was not the failed prototype they remembered. This was something else. Something built in silence. The ship sent a signal. Not an attack. Not a threat. Just a message. Observation complete. The council members looked at each other in shock. Humanity had not come to ask for approval. They had not come to beg for respect. They had come to remind the galaxy. And as the massive warship hovered in the dark, one truth became clear to every empire watching. The galaxy had laughed at humanity. And now, humanity was done waiting. While the galaxy laughed and moved on, humanity did not forget. On Earth, there were no angry speeches, no public threats, no promises of revenge. The humans simply went quiet. Most galactic empires believed this silence meant fear. They thought humans had accepted their place. A weak species. A forgotten one. But beneath Earth's surface, work had already begun. Deep underground facilities were sealed. Hidden shipyards were built far from trade lanes. Far from curious eyes. Human leaders did not rush. They did not panic. They planned. Engineers studied the failure of the prototype. Every mistake was recorded. Every weakness was understood. They did not try to build many ships. They chose to build only one. A ship that did not need approval. A ship that did not need allies. The project had no official name. It existed only in restricted files, known only to a few. Years passed. Then decades. The galaxy grew comfortable. Human space remained quiet. Too quiet to be dangerous. Some empires even used Earth's old prototype as a joke. A reminder of human arrogance. Humans heard the jokes. They saw the recordings. They did not respond. Instead, they tested new engines in empty space. Engines that bent gravity. Engines that did not burn fuel like others. They built armor that absorbed energy. Not reflected it. Not blocked it. Absorbed it. Weapons were designed but never tested publicly. Not even allies knew about them. The ship slowly took shape. Layer by layer. Silent and patient. Humans did not build it for conquest. They did not dream of ruling the galaxy. They built it because they understood one truth. Someday, laughter would turn into fear. The ship was finished long before the galaxy noticed anything. It remained hidden, cloaked so completely that even human sensors could barely see it. For years, it drifted in deep space. Watching. Listening. Humanity observed galactic politics carefully. They learned how empires thought. How they reacted to weakness. Humans did not see themselves as heroes. They saw themselves as survivors. They knew that mercy without strength meant extinction. So they waited. No alerts were sent. No borders were crossed. The ship did not move. Until the galaxy grew careless. A powerful empire began routine patrols near human territory. They did not expect resistance. They did not expect anything at all. That was the moment humanity had prepared for. Not war. Not destruction. A demonstration. Far away, inside the hidden warship. Systems slowly powered up. Silent and controlled. No alarms. No excitement. The crew did not cheer. They did not speak much. They understood the weight of what was about to happen. This ship was not meant to attack first. It was meant to be seen. As the Empire's fleet moved closer, the ship adjusted its position. Cloaking systems held. Sensors watched every movement. Humanity had learned something important. Fear was louder than weapons. And when the time was right, when the galaxy was watching, humanity would no longer hide. Not to threaten. Not to beg. But to be recognized. And deep in space, the hidden warship waited for the signal. Patient. Silent. Unseen. The Imperial fleet moved through space with confidence. Their ships were large, armed, and bright with power. To them, this mission was routine. Human space was quiet. Too quiet to matter. Their commanders expected nothing. A short patrol. A report. Then back to real battles elsewhere. Sensors scanned the area. Nothing appeared. No threats detected, one officer said. Human territory remains inactive. The fleet continued forward, closer to the edge of the system. Then space shifted. At first, it was barely visible. A small ripple, like heat moving through air. Several sensors flickered, then failed. What was that? A commander asked. Before anyone could answer, the stars behind the fleet seemed to stretch. Light bent in strange ways. Space itself appeared to open. A massive shape began to emerge. Slowly. Calmly. No explosion. No sudden movement. Just presence. The ship uncloaked layer by layer. Dark armor forming out of nothing. Its size becoming clear. It was larger than the largest Imperial warship. Thicker. Heavier. The fleet froze. Weapons did not fire. Shields did not rise. Fear replaced confidence. This is not on any record, an officer whispered. It cannot be human. The ship finished uncloaking, floating silently before them. No lights flashed. No engines burned. Yet every sensor screamed warning. Target locks failed. Range data collapsed. Weapon systems refused to respond. The human ship was doing nothing. And still, It controlled the space around it. On its hull, a symbol appeared. Clear and simple. A mark of Earth. The realization hit hard. This is not a fleet, the commander said slowly. This is a message. The Imperial ships attempted communication. Standard authority codes. Then demands. No response came. Instead, a single signal spread across all channels. Not loud. Not aggressive. Calm. Human vessel present. The words carried no threat. No warning. And that made them worse. The human ship moved slightly. Just enough to show control. Its shadow covered multiple Imperial ships at once. Crew members stared at their screens. Hands frozen. Hearts racing. They understood something had changed forever. Back at the Galactic Council. Emergency alarms filled the chamber. Live images showed the human warship in full view. Unmoving. Unchallenged. The council members watched in silence. This was not the failed prototype they remembered. This was not a desperate species reaching too far. This was patience. This was preparation. The warship did not attack. It did not chase the fleet. It simply stayed. The Imperial commander made a decision. He ordered a full retreat. For the first time in their history, the Empire pulled back without firing a single shot. As the fleet retreated, the human ship remained, watching. Then, just as calmly as it appeared, it began to fade, layer by layer, back into nothing, leaving behind silence and fear. Across the galaxy, one truth spread faster than any signal. Humanity had built something no one understood, and they had chosen to reveal it. Not to conquer, not to destroy, but to be seen. The Galactic Council chamber was silent. No laughter remained. No voices argued. Only fear moved through the room. The image of the human warship floated in the center hologram, paused at the moment before it faded away. Council members stared at it. Some in disbelief. Some in regret. Emergency meetings were called across the galaxy. Messages flew between empires. Questions spread faster than answers. What did we just witness? How long have humans been hiding this? Old assumptions began to break. The council ordered a full review of all human records. Every message. Every warning. Archives were opened that had not been touched for decades. The failed prototype appeared again on the screens. Clumsy, weak, embarrassing. Laughter could almost be remembered. Then another file appeared. Ignored at the time. A simple human statement. We are not ready yet. The words now felt heavy. They were never asking for help, one council member said quietly. They were asking for time. Fear settled deep. Reports arrived from the Imperial fleet that had retreated. Crew members spoke of systems failing, of weapons refusing to lock. They had never been attacked. Yet they felt defeated. That ship controlled the space around us, the commander reported. It could have ended us. The council understood the truth. Humanity had not shown its strength by destroying a fleet. They had shown restraint. And restraint meant confidence. Some empires demanded an immediate response. Others argued for caution. No one suggested war. For the first time in galactic history, a single ship had stopped an empire without firing a weapon. The council began to feel something unfamiliar. Regret. They replayed old meetings. Old jokes. Old dismissive votes. Humanity had been mocked. Ignored. Pushed aside. And still, humans had chosen patience. This changes everything, a council leader said. If humans wanted control, they would already have it. The warship's final message was reviewed again. Observation complete. Such simple words. Yet terrifying. It meant the humans had been watching for a long time. Learning. Measuring. The council realized the galaxy was no longer alone in its power. Humanity was no longer a background species. They were a silent force. Debate shifted quickly. From punishment To survival. How do we respond? Someone asked. No one answered immediately. Then one voice spoke, calm and honest. We respond with respect. That word echoed through the chamber. Respect. Not fear. Not dominance. Respect was what humanity had earned without asking for it. Outside the council, news spread across worlds. Citizens watched recordings of the human warship. Clips replayed again and again. The laughter that once followed humanity was gone. In its place was caution and understanding. Humanity had not changed in a single day. The galaxy had. For years, humans had been underestimated. Now they were being studied carefully, because every empire understood one clear truth. If that ship was only one, then there could be more. And if humans had waited this long to reveal it, then they were capable of waiting even longer. The Council issued a final order. All aggressive actions near human space were suspended. For the first time, the galaxy stepped back. And somewhere in deep space, humanity continued to watch. Silent, patient, aware that the balance of power had finally shifted. The galaxy did not sleep after that day. Too many truths had been revealed. Across star systems, leaders spoke carefully. Words were chosen with care. No one laughed anymore. Human space was suddenly important. Trade routes were adjusted. Military fleets changed direction. Borders were redrawn without conflict. Humanity did not announce victory. They did not celebrate. They continued as they always had. Quiet. Focused. The Galactic Council prepared a formal message. It took days to agree on the wording. Never before had the Council spoken to a species this way. The message was sent to Earth. Open. Clear. It asked for dialogue. For understanding. Not demands. On Earth, the message was received calmly. Human leaders did not rush to reply. They waited. Not to show power, but to show control. When the response finally came, it was simple. We are willing to talk. Nothing more. The Council felt both relief and unease. The humans were not angry. They were not proud. They were careful. Meetings followed. Virtual chambers filled with faces from many worlds. Humans spoke plainly. No threats. No boasts. They explained their silence. Their patience. We learned early, a human representative said. That noise brings attention. And attention brings danger. They explained the warship. Not as a weapon of conquest, but as a shield. We built it so we would never be ignored again. The galaxy listened. Slowly, attitudes changed. Humanity was no longer seen as weak, but as disciplined. Not reckless, but controlled. Agreements were formed. Equal agreements. For the first time, humans were not placed below older empires. They stood beside them. The warship remained hidden. Its location unknown. Its purpose understood. It did not patrol. It did not threaten. Its existence was enough. Across the galaxy, stories spread. Not of destruction, but of restraint. Young species heard the tale of humanity. How they were mocked. How they waited. And how they chose the right moment to speak. The Galactic Council updated its records. Humanity's status was changed. From developing species to strategic equal, a rare title. And deep in space, the human warship continued its silent watch. Not as a conqueror, but as a reminder that strength does not always roar. Sometimes, it waits. Humanity did not rule the galaxy. They did not need to. They had earned something greater. Respect. And as the stars moved on and time passed, one lesson remained clear to every empire. Never judge a species by its first failure. Because some civilizations learn quietly, build patiently, and when they finally stand, the entire galaxy listens.